All right, hi, hello, and welcome everybody to the first stream for this week live from Gamescom from the Indie Arena booth. Welcome to everyone in the chat and welcome to all the devs that exhibit here, and especially I have here with me the developer of Sue and the Quest for Meaning, a platformer game with a twist, because the actual quest we're after is, if I got it correctly, the high score.
Yeah, that's the twist is that the score is a puzzle. So everyone remembers the made-up language and number system of Myst, for example, in the 90s. Fez did it as well, and I do it in Sune Quest for Meaning. The twist here is every level has its own made-up language or system, and you have to figure them out if you want to actually progress and reach the actual end. Otherwise, it's an endless platformer. Every level is randomly generated as you play, and try to survive, get as high score as possible, unlock new levels and progress in the game like that.
Interesting. So, no, you never get the same level. So every time you play the game,
right.
It's something different. You have new challenges you have to conquer.
Visually they're still the same. Everyone is a different color palettes, but the level is randomly generated when you play them.
Cool. So that definitely adds to the replay value, I'd say. You basically combined two genres into one. On the one hand, you have the platforming,
right.
And on the other hand, you have the puzzle solving with the language to actually conquer your quest of reaching the highest score ever in history.
Yeah. It's the way I try to pitch it with reference to people that know video games, it's Monument Valley meets Super Meat Boy. Right?
Oh, cool.
In terms of visual art style, so it's very minimalistic, very simple. But at the same time, and you're going to notice when you play, it's really fast and really hardcore in terms of reaction time and the speed of your character and how fast you have to think when you move. It can get pretty addictive.
Cool. So we're about to find out, because a picture says more than 1,000 words.
Yeah.
And so how much says animated pictures? Because we're diving just right into the action.
You mean you want to...
Yeah, we're gonna play.
Yeah.
We're gonna play it. I hope this. I think if I remember correctly, this was the right one. Alrighty. So, press A to start. There's no A on this one. I suppose it's that one. All right, that looks good. That looks pretty good. I haven't played this. This is actually really the first time I'll ever be playing this. So for you, this is kind of like a playtest. Something who has never touched it. How bad could it be? So we're gonna try a new game.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to this, because before coming here, I watched the trailer.
Oh,
and
cool.
and read up about the background, the information you gave on the Indie Booth Arena website.
Right.
And it really sounded very interesting. I personally, I like actually both. I like platforming games because I grew up with them. I mean, classics like Mario or Commodore 64.
Right.
Platforming games. That's kind of where I'm coming from. But I also love puzzling games. So this one, it has both.
A little bit, yeah. And even in the way that you approach those levels, I mean, they're randomly generated, that's one thing, but then you have to think about what's the best path that I can take while playing this game, because...
So this little red snake that crashed into oblivion, that's me.
Right.
And I have to, wow, okay, I have to try to stay on the platforms and kind of getting higher and higher.
So the way it works is endless, of course, and then you have to stay as high as possible, and that's one of the tactics that you can use in this game. Or you can use a lot of people, after they've played for a long time, they try to refresh columns that they don't, when they see a setup that they're not used to, that doesn't look good for them, they...
So close. So close.
So I don't know if I specified, but you can do a double jump, right? You figured it out.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, this is amazing, because on a lot of games where you expect to have double jump and then they don't, how was I supposed to get out of this? I was saying I need my double jump. I think double jumping is one of the most important things in video games. So yeah, double jump. Oh. Okay,
Yeah,
I
you're
wanted
getting the
I
hang
wanted
of
to
it.
make it interesting, but it was a bit too interesting, so I crashed down again. But it plays very smooth, except from me constantly missing the high ground. You get into the mechanics, into the controls rather quickly. I'm not sure why I'm collecting these, but I think I'm gonna be finding out, and yeah. That's just me being as good in video games as I usually am. I have no idea why I'm doing this. Okay, here we go. But it's definitely not the game. It's me. So, where's I need another column. Come on, give me some.
What did you say about the live play test?
Yeah, you're already taking notes, right?
Yeah, of course.
You're right.
Checking my
That's
notepad.
perfect. Look, that's cool. I like how you can, if steering is the right word, but I guess you know what I mean. How you can control your character while it's in the air. That you can change direction while you're jumping and up in the air. That's very nice.
Yeah, it's I mean, the focus here is on movement and flow, right? It goes very fast, but at the same time, the way it's presented with the snake part and the long scarf that's following you around, it gives a poetic, we say, a mood to the whole experience. I mean, just flowing into the game and just playing it down.
Yeah, I like how the tail or the scarf, how you call it,
Yeah.
how that's following your movement. It's like those dances with those ropes.
Right. I know.
Which I visually I really like that. Now we're gonna double jump up. See, double jump to the rescue. Give the game a double jump, and even I can manage. So now I'm collecting these.
Right, and that's
symbols?
what's gonna be like. That's what you use for your score, right? That's what's gonna be represented. That's for your score.
Okay.
How much you gather of these stars or coins.
Okay, so this is pretty common, old school.
Yeah.
You collect these
points.
collectibles, and that's
And
what actually
yeah,
gives you
and,
the score.
When you reach a certain point and collect, you can gather like a triple jump, like what you have right now above your head.
Okay.
And you can use it whenever you want, but it's a one-time use.
Ah,
then you can
okay.
get another one.
Okay, it's a one-time use.
Yeah.
You tell me that after I use it. That's good. But yeah, as I said, you get rather quickly into the controls.
Cool.
It feels kind of natural. Once you know what you have to do, and you figure that out pretty quickly.
A lot of things, a lot of times what happens also is like when people start playing the game and they just jump for the first time off a column and it goes down, they think that, okay, it's a time thing, right? And then start moving really fast. And it takes them a couple of minutes to actually figure out that you can take your own time.
Yes, that actually happened to me, now that you say it. I was like, when I jumped and the column fell down, I was, okay, I have to be really quick because it goes down very
And it's
very
one
soon.
of those things that I want a player to actually experience them naturally, to actually discover that part of the game. Because there are some like hidden meanings and in the puzzles and the way that it's presented that I don't want to give. I want to give the player the element of surprise.
Yeah.
Give them the joy of discovery. It's okay, I figured this out.
Yeah, you actually do have. This is just as you said. Eventually, you figure out that you don't have to be super quick. You can take your time. It goes down slowly, so you have
and you can
time to plan your next move. Or
for this one, of course, because depending on the levels, you might not have that much time. To
okay, of course.
Actually,
so the levels do get more difficult.
They do. Like. It's always going to be the same twist, like single screen platforming with endless platforms being generated.
See, and this happens. This
actually,
happens when you look into the chat instead of playing the game.
And now, if you go, you can use the I think the circle button.
Okay.
On this controller, you can use that to go back to the hub that we had before, and you can see that if you unlock like new levels. And
Oh,
then depending
so-
on your score, that's why I say you have to collect. So you collect those triangle gems or those stars in the levels. Then depending on how many you collected, that's your score. Depending on how many you had in a specific level, you're gonna unlock those white gems, and then you use these as a commodity to unlock new levels automatically.
Oh, nice. So this is kind of the world map, the level
Exactly, yeah.
select map, and depending on how good you do in the game, you unlock new levels, new maps where you can go.
And then you can actually like move on this map like using the controls,
And they can
and this
see.
is like how much you need for the next one.
Oh, so I need one fully full square of
You-
these things.
You need two fully full squares
Okay.
that you can, it's pretty much the beginning of the game. So you unlock a new one. You only needed one before in the first level to unlock the new one. And then after that, you need the two in this level to actually unlock the next batch.
Cool.
And levels are unlocked in batch. It's not like one after the other. You might sometimes unlock like 3 levels at once, and then the next batch is gonna ask you like to get more stars or a little bit less, and so on and so forth.
Okay. So let's try the next one. We have kind of not paying that much attention to the chat at the moment. So if the chat has any questions, if you guys in the chat, if there's any question you want to ask, this is the developer of this game. So this is the perfect opinion to ask your questions. If anything you want to know about the game, now it's your time. We make sure that we try to see them and we try to address them. Vielleicht nochmal ganz kurz für unsere deutschen Freunde im Chat, wenn ihr irgendwelche Fragen habt zu dem Spiel, dann wäre jetzt genau der richtige Zeitpunkt, die zu stellen, weil wir haben den Entwickler von diesem Spiel hier bei uns sitzen. Und wir werden natürlich auch zwischendurch mal ein Auge auf den Chat werfen. Natürlich ist das der Grund, warum ich ständig von den Plattformen runtercrashe. Nicht, weil ich irgendwie total nicht gut wäre im Spielen oder so. Weil wir zwischendurch immer mal wieder in den Chat gucken. Und wenn da irgendwelche Fragen sind, ihr könnt die auch gerne auf Deutsch posten. Ist überhaupt kein Problem. Ich übersetze die dann. Und dann werden wir gucken, dass wir auch eure Fragen beantwortet kriegen. So,
I try my best to answer the question in German, but I cannot promise anything.
No problem. No problem. So, let's try the next unlock one. I like these transitions.
Cool.
Very nice. So, this is me double jumping my way to heaven. Oh, this is easy. Look. Actually, it sometimes there's one thing it reminds me of, and which is a very nice thing. We had way back, many moons ago, we had a kids show where there was kind of this yellow entity. It was a ball, it was a circle, and when it moved around, it also kept this trail of fading out circles, like when you activate the mouse trail on Windows.
Oh yeah,
kind of like that. And it used to buzz around the screen and be funny, and it kind of, because of the trail of the scarf it pulls behind it, it kind of reminds
you of that.
Which I personally like a lot, because I don't know anyone who did not really deeply love this little weird being.
There's an interesting story element behind it, because when I started working on the prototype of the game, it was just a character moving around. It was really fast and really small. It still is now, but that meant that it was sometimes difficult to actually follow it around. And so I added this kind of scarf element, and then people thought it reminded them of Journey, because it's pretty much like the same.
There's a scarf involved in that as well.
Yeah, it's a similarity, but that happened by accident.
But that brings me to another question. When you say you started working on the prototype, how did you? And this is something that I'm always wondering with pretty much all of the games, at least the more interesting ones. How did you get the idea to make this game? How did you, first of all, how did you come to the idea of making this kind of genre mix of platforming and puzzling, and the basic idea behind the gameplay? How did it come to
it's an interesting story as well. So I'm indie, right? I'm working alone on this, but I used to be working as a game designer in a big for Belgium, but a video game company back in my country. I quit my job, and then on the last day of the job, we actually did a small game jam between colleagues. When I say small, it's like we started at 10, p.m. and spent the night on each and every one of us working on a single project, and that's actually what came out of it. So I left my job, with this batch of game ideas I wanted to create when I started as an indie, but then I got hijacked by that prototype that worked so well and that people thought was so much fun.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And I've been working on it ever since. So that was like actually it was 3 years ago, and I kept working on it and went through different iterations. And it has a publisher. It's actually being published by Playdius.
Ah, okay.
From Away and quite a few other games. A normal Lost Phone as well.
They went the platform right when I wanted to jump onto it.
Well, you're doing great.
Thank you. There's one question from the chat.
Sure.
For which platforms is the game available?
It's not available yet. So
okay, for which platforms will the game be available?
It's going to be on Steam, of course, and then it's going to be on console, and it's going to be on Xbox One and Nintendo Switch.
Oh, right. So you're planning for console releases on Xbox and Switch?
Yeah.
No PlayStation, love.
Not yet. Yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet. Maybe afterwards, but we're focusing on those two for the moment.
Okay. Switch is cool.
Yeah.
I think this is very well suited for the Switch because depending on how good you are, the levels are not too long. It's not like you need half an hour or even longer for a level. And since the Switch is actually portable and meant for, when waiting for the bus or anything.
Oh, in the bus. I've seen people playing, their Switch in the bus.
And then once you're boarded the bus, of course, keep playing there. But kind of being able to on short notice pause the game because you're finished with the level because you have to go off because it's your station or something. In my opinion, this fits very well to the Switch.
Right.
Because this is definitely one of the games that I can see working very well when actually using the Switch in its portable mode when you're out and on your ways.
Cool.
Nice. Ja, also schön die Augen aufhalten. Auf Steam wird es natürlich geben und auf Xbox und Nintendo Switch. You got a rough estimate for when the first release will be, or is that still uncertain because you still have so much work to do?
I still have so much work to do, but it's probably going to be early next year. I estimate.
That's good. And so if anyone wants to keep an eye on the game, there's all the information you need is on the Indie Arena booth website. Just go there, go to games, and you will find the game among all the others listed, including additional information about the game, trailer, screenshots, a bit of background information, and of course, where and how to keep an eye.
I think I see a question about which engine the game was made in.
Which engine did you use?
It's made in Unity. It's made in Unity, and yep.
Unity is very popular amongst indie devs, I think.
So there is one thing that I like to specify. Is I don't. I mean, obviously, you play the game now and you realize that the platforming is kind of tight. And,
yes. And I can double
precise,
jump.
I would say, and fast.
Yes.
So I don't use any physics or anything like that in Unity. I mean, I'm not a big fan of it. It's not suited to that type of gameplay, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more precision and.
Was there any special reason you used Unity, or because I mean there's Unreal Engine? Was that never in question of using that?
No. It's more like okay. So there was one thing I didn't specify. So when I worked at the other video game company, right, I was a game designer. So I learned Unity on the side, and art. I've always do a little bit of art on the side as well. But then, yeah, when I actually quit my job, I had to, start working for real using Unity. Unreal Engine's a little bit more complicated, and I think, like, personally, it's only suited for like really important AAA type of games, to a specific type of games. Which is not to mean that indies cannot use the Unreal Engine to actually make the games. I think that there was one in the Indie Mega Booth that's a platformer actually, and it's done in the Unreal Engine. It's Shift Quantum, but no, I mean it was part of the reasons like I never had used the Unreal Engine before. I didn't want to start to learn a new engine from scratch, for my first game, and I was already I had the habit of working and doing prototypes in Unity, so I kept using that.
So mainly because you already had experience in working with Unity.
Yeah, and even then when I started with Unity, I mean there was a bit of a catch-up, like the first 6 months I started working on the game. I learned so much that stuff I didn't have the time to learn on the side when I was using the game to make prototypes.
Yeah, but this is something I hear rather often actually, and also because I try like, I don't know, trying these things out. I've taken a look at Unity, I've taken a look at Unreal Engine, and the learning curve in Unreal Engine is way more steep than in Unity. So this is one of the things I experienced myself, and I hear a lot from other people.
I mean, it has its own advantages, but those advantages are only like meaningful if you're doing some specific type of games. And I remember when they're doing the promo of the Unreal Engine like way back a few years ago, they showed that they could make like small games in it, like Flappy Birds. Yeah. But that's
it's more aimed at the bigger titles. Right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can do that, but nobody's going to.
Yeah, because
why?
This is, as I said, this is very interesting because especially with indie games, you usually see Unity.
Right.
And even though I might suspect some of the answers to the question, I always like to ask people because I really want to know why are people using more Unity than Unreal Engine, and it makes perfect sense actually.
Yeah, it does.
So I haven't died for quite some time.
Yeah, you have a triple jump.
And I have a triple jump, so I'm gonna make this.
Yeah.
Ow! No, and then I'm gonna die. I shouldn't have jinxed it. I shouldn't have jinxed it. But I think we've just unlocked another path, right?
Yeah, you can go back.
So we go
again.
back.
And you, like I said, I think the levels are marked in badge, so now you have a couple
look at
more.
that.
You can go on the right, all the way to the top. I think that one's going to be interesting to play.
So these are all available to me now.
Yeah.
And just those are not.
Yeah.
Well, so I just unlocked three. That's cool. You want to try this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then this one's pretty cool.
I think that, I don't know, that sound meant that someone followed or something or subscribed. I don't know. I'm not totally. I'm not absolute. Oh, look at that! There's a new graphic style.
Oh, another one.
So, guys, whatever you just did, if you followed or subscribed, I don't know, I'm not used to the sounds right now. Anyways, thanks a lot for that. And I will try to do especially good just for you. Which means I will be just a bit less terrible than... Wow! Like, see,
oh my god.
I just wanted to make it interesting. It's all on purpose. It's all on purpose.
Yeah.
Nobody will be able to prove me different. Oh, there's some noise coming in.
I think yeah.
Follows. All right. Okay. Yeah,
So,
the platforms are way more narrow or smaller as in the previous level.
Yeah, so it gets harder and harder as you play through the game. And also there are new mechanics introduced, always using the same template, right? In this case, you just have, before you could always collect those gems or diamonds when you were standing on a platform. Now they're separate. They have their own platforms without an actual platform on it.
Like
so
that,
you have to
like
jump
that
and get
one
them.
I just didn't get to.
Yeah.
All right.
And you have to jump and grab them in the air because there's nothing to land on. Then some others have their diamonds on the spot, like you have to jump as well. But you know, there's always going to be a new twist in the level, and also it gets harder and harder. One thing that's not in this demo is the wall jumps. There's going to be wall jumps in some levels, power-ups, jump pads, that kind of thing.
Oh, interesting.
So and gets, like I said, it's going to get harder and harder, like mixing walls with floors and some other mechanics.
The chat is asking, when did you start to develop the game?
So we were talking about that game jam that I did when I quit my job. That was actually 3 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, I've had the chance to work full time on it for a couple of time now. So yeah, that's why it's taking a bit longer now. Yeah. It actually grew because like that's one thing I can talk about. Like when I actually work on the prototype, when I had the prototype after the game jam, I wasn't really confident that I could actually make a full-fledged game out of it. Okay. Right. So it started with more like, okay, this is going to be my first game. I'm just going to put it on itch.io, maybe do a mobile version afterwards. But by that time so I'm from Belgium, but by that time I had traveled to Montreal and was living there. And people there, there's big indie scene in Montreal, right? People there actually like the game and say, no, you should put this on Steam. I would pay $5 for that game. And it was really interesting to get that feedback. And so that pushed me to actually do something more with it. It then grew and grew, and now it's a little bit bigger, and I'm not finished with it.
Very nice. So also from the chat, did you develop the game alone, or did you?
Yeah.
So you're a one-man team.
Yeah, I do have somebody for the music though, called Jérémy Dumouchel, who lives in Montreal.
Okay.
And
impressive.
And he did the music and the sound. Which is a really cool guy. He works in a video game company there now. But yeah, like I said, like there were some stuff I was able to that I knew how to do when I quit my job in Unity or in the art department, and some others I had to learn.
You need to cry for help button. It doesn't have to do much. Just a little speech paddle, help, and then it crashed. Now this is very impressive.
Also, like one thing I can talk about is like because so it's been 3 years now that I've been working on the game. I've tried some other stuff too. Like the puzzle element only came about like after the first couple of months. Mm-hmm. Then how to structure it because it's a good tagline. Like the score is a puzzle, but then you have to actually find how it's going to work. And I had different ideas to test with that. And also like one feedback I had, and I had it this morning again when people were playing in the Enemy booth, is that it might be suited for co-op mode. Like some people told me, like,
yes.
Hey, have you thought about the co-op? Did you try it out?
Like two people playing on the same screen, and
exactly. And
absolutely.
In the 3 years of development, I actually took a month to work on a co-op version, prototype it. And yeah, there is a reason some of the game because it's not really fun. Like some games are not meant to be played in co-op. What happens is like people don't actually cooperate. The game is too fast most of the times for people to actually take the time to talk, right? So they just focus on their thing. They end up like being on one side of the screen and not talking to each other. So yeah.
Yeah, that's the difference between a good idea and then actually trying out the idea and making it work, and sometimes you just realize, okay, the idea is nice, it would be really, really nice if it worked, but it just doesn't.
It doesn't, no. And but I think as developers, it's important to actually take the time to test those ideas. Absolutely. And like I said, so it was a month to work on the co-op mode. So if you have like a very tight production and production costs, and it might look like it's a lot, but it was worth it, I think, because I can now answer the question positively, like in a very determined manner. Like it doesn't work with my game. Like don't even think about doing co-op mode.
Yeah, but that's in itself a good thing because you tried it out.
Yeah.
And you're not just saying, you're not just telling people, no, it doesn't have co-op. You're telling them why.
Yeah.
And that's always, even if people then might be a bit sad, like, but it would have been fun, but they get a reason and they get an explanation, and even an explanation why it doesn't work.
In a way, I did my job as a developer, right? I tried out. It doesn't work.
Yeah, I'm crashing way more on this one than in the.
You can, if you want to go back, there is another one that's a little bit easier just before.
Okay. I'm gonna try that.
Okay.
First, this one. This I can get. And I cannot get that one somehow. All right.
I think, yeah. Oh.
Haha. And no!
Oh.
So close. I just barely missed it. I just barely missed it.
Yeah. So if you want to go back, like for the last 5 minutes, we can show another one if you want.
Yeah. You said the previous one?
Just below, yeah.
Okay.
I think that one's gonna look good.
Oh, I like this transition effect. Yeah, this is the green platforms again. Yeah, which still, I don't know. I think the platforms just don't like me. But this is one of the, in my opinion, interesting aspects of the game, as the levels, they are always different because you're random generating how the columns appear and spawn. You never know what you're up against.
Yeah, it's always going to be different.
So I won't say it will never get boring, because I don't know, sometimes after, I don't know, playing this game for 10 years non-stop, it might eventually get boring. But it takes definitely quite some longer this way.
Yeah.
Since you're not redoing. This is one of the problems I had with other more really difficult platformers, where when you died you had to redo the whole level, but you already did it. You just died short before the end, and then you had to redo the level, but you've already seen it. You have to redo the same thing all the time.
Right, and like you said, like if it was a fixed level, and you just try to memorize a pattern, then it's different, right? So here you're more like memorizing strategies and how to apply, how to evade certain situations, so in certain paths. I think it's a bit more rewarding, actually.
And I just like the mechanics. I mean, it's the simple things that make a game work most of the times, and it's just the way you control your character, the way you move around the screen. It's, I don't know. It just feels good. If that's, I don't know. For the lack of better words, it just feels good. It feels right. It's a lot of fun. So I could see me playing this not for the high score, but just for bouncing around a bit, and if you have I don't know, you had a long day, you're tired, you're exhausted, and you don't really have to make the next high score. But I can definitely see me sitting there and just hopping around a bit and just enjoying the movement of my character and a bit of the music and the visuals. Yeah. And then the surprise when you think you're crashing, and then there comes a column, but you're totally panicking and hitting the button, and you're jumping off, and then you're still crashing. So then you're sitting there hoping for the next platform to spawn.
Yeah, and then
and it spawns right to the wrong side.
Yeah.
Okay. Ha! Got it. My plan worked, and this certainly didn't.
So, like I said before, like every level comes with a different twist.
Mm-hmm.
Like just before you had the classic, like those jams are on the platforms, On the other one, they were like separate. On this one, they're linked to the actual column, but they're a little bit above the ground.
Yeah,
So to
they're
jump and to
hovering,
catch it.
hovering a bit.
Yeah. So you have to jump and catch it, and so it's different, right? Because you cannot just like move around the platform. You just have to get to a specific spot and then take off. But then the platform is gone, and then you have to think about where you're going.
Yeah, right. On the first ones, you could just move around, pick it up, and
Yeah.
then decide where to go.
Yeah.
Right, and here you have to be way more careful. Like, I could try to double jump my way up there
There you
while
go.
collecting it,
Or
and it even worked.
Yeah. Only,
Same here.
the other strategy is like when you drop on a platform, right?
Try to while it moves down.
Or you, when
try
you
to-
jump
try
on
to-
it,
try to
when
get
you
one.
when you want to jump on it,
Yeah.
you just try to catch it before
While
landing.
you
on it.
land, yeah.
That works too. And so, like I was saying, like in the very advanced levels of the game, you have wall jumps and stuff, and I also twist them with that kind of mechanics, like in the separate or on a different one and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
So right when you think you figured out the game tells you no, you didn't, because
Yeah.
it gives you something new.
Exactly.
See, this is another strategy. While the one
Yeah.
platform moves down, you just
That
wait
works.
silently till you pick up the
That
one on the
works.
other one. But I think I'm going to try just for the sake of trying and wow, okay, would have almost had that one. I'm going to try the other level once more.
I think I saw a question. I see a question about the art style.
Did you have an inspiration for the art style?
I like minimalistic games. So obviously, I'm a big fan of Monument Valley. And also, I mean, like I said, I'm a game designer by trade. I'm not a real programmer or an artist. I mean, I can do some drawing, but I haven't been trained for that. And so a big part of the working on the game was finding an art style I was confident to work with, right? If you see now the very first prototypes and the way that the columns were displayed, or it looks totally different. And I had to work a little bit to actually find something I was, confident to work with and do in my own way. But about the influence, so I was speaking about Monument Valley, another game that I actually loved for its minimalistic art style, and we don't speak about it a lot, is Severed.
Okay.
From the guy who made Guacamelee. It was released on PS Vita, and it's really beautiful in terms of art style as well,
Yeah.
in terms of minimalistic art. So that was an inspiration as well.
There were your own ideas mixed with inspiration, with
Come again?
your own ideas, your own wishes for
Yeah.
your art style, combined with things you saw in other games that you thought were okay. This is what I like.
Yeah, this is more like this is the kind of style I like, and this is a style I know I can make and twist it my own way. And like I said, that took a long time, but I think I managed it.
Very nice. Yeah, I wanted to try the other level one more, and now I'm stuck in this one again. But I think we reached our end anyways.
Okay.
So if you guys want to see the other level, come by the Indie Arena booth at Gamescom. Just stop by. If you didn't have a reason to visit Gamescom yet, now you do. Stop by the Indie Arena booth and find the game Sue and the Quest for Meaning.
Yeah.
And thanks for being here. Thanks
for playing it.
for having your game. And this is definitely something I will take a close eye to.
Thanks a lot.
So thank you.
Thanks.
And